Okay, good morning and welcome back to T-Upload TV. Monday morning, third week in October, and it's all getting a bit grim out there, to be fair. Miserable, pouring down rain, but we're undercover at Clark's Golf Centre and about to review one of the Callaway products that we had a bit of a hit on a few weeks ago in a head-to-head challenge. It literally was a case of the wrapper came off and we put it straight into a head-to-head. So we're going to do a more focused independent review this time round. It's the Callaway Big Bertha Fusion fairway wood. It's a 3-wood that I've got in my hands. No Joey the tweet this morning, so it's just the average golfer and the camera. All seems a bit weird when there's nobody else to sort of refer to. But anyway, I will change camera positions, get this club set up and record some numbers and see how we get on in a real test of the Callaway Big Bertha Fusion 3-wood. Okay, right, good to go. So, as I said, Callaway Big Bertha Fusion 3-wood. If you haven't watched it, after this one, watch the head-to-head that we put it in, because it performed exceptionally well. So much so that, like I said, we thought we'd come back and do a bit of an independent review of this one. And interestingly enough, I wasn't that keen on the driver, which was really odd. Expected or went into this one a little bit with a negative attitude, I suppose, but came out feeling a whole lot different from the head-to-head challenge. Anyway, let's see if that's reproduced today on this independent review of this Big Bertha Fusion. Biggest thing for me is that the whole message from Callaway in terms of their marketing and advertising and the promotion of this golf club is it's all about forgiveness. Message with the driver, there was a shorter length shaft option in the driver. It was all about forgiveness and control, which is a great thing for any golfer to have, and any assistance you can get with that, fantastic. I'm all for it. What I felt was that in terms of the driver, I struggled to get used to the shape of the head. It was so extreme in its different looks from the top in particular, and performance wise it was okay, but I just didn't particularly get on with it. But anyway, it's not about the driver, it's about the 3-wood. But whilst I explain the things that I didn't like about the driver, how it's translated then into the 3-wood is that the head shape is the same, much as any 3-wood and driver is. They're generally the same club, just shrunk down in many ways, the head size. That's the case here, and it still retains this elongated sort of club head that sort of squares off at the back. And as I say, I wasn't fond of it in the driver, but it is less noticeable in the 3-wood, and I can sort of I can accept it, get my head around it, and it's okay. I like it when it sits behind the ball. I'm a bit of a traditionalist when it comes to the shape of these club heads, so again, don't be put off by my opinion. I like the more the sort of like I said, old-fashioned traditional look to these clubs, but this one I can get by and live with. Excuse me. No adjustability in this 3-wood, so it's a case of get fitted, get the right shaft for you. And really after that there shouldn't be any adjustability needed. I understand the adjustability factors that a golf club can offer and making it bespoke very much to you, but in this case if you get this club fit right, then you should be able to there's no adjustment necessary. Anyway, where's my golf glove? First things first, let me just grab a glove. We better start hitting some balls. Now, as I said on the intro, no Joey the tweet this morning, so we've replaced him with the laptop is sitting there, hopefully all good to go. I'm just going to push it back a tad. Seems slightly in my swing path maybe. Right, let's hit some balls. Now the one thing again, this just came in, we've only got one club in here at the moment in terms of shaft wise, and it's a regular shaft which I wouldn't normally choose. It's not what's in my current 3-wood, so that's the only thing that I'd have potential issue with. Anyway, let's see how they go. Now, straight away, first ball in. The noticeable thing again, and obviously I've hit a few balls, that's a long way. Let's see what that comes out in terms of the numbers. The noticeable thing in the head-to-head, so that's first ball 225, carry 246 that it's rolled out. The notable thing in the head-to-head challenge was, and I mentioned earlier, that day the club had just arrived, it still had the wrapper on, so we took the wrapper off, a couple of practice balls and threw it straight in there, and it got some unbelievably good numbers in terms of distance. but more importantly, ability and ease in which to hit. And I think that, again, going back to Callaway's message in the marketing about forgiveness, this thing, yes, it was forgiving, it had a lot of help right across the face, and it also had a tremendous launch angle. They seemed to hang forever. And first ball in, 19 degree was the launch there. It went incredibly high, but still carried a long way too. I'll pull that one down the left. Just slightly, slight draw shape, I suppose you'd call it, if you're being polite. If you weren't, you could call it a hook. But still, look at the distance. It's 250 yards with not the best shot. And this is Monday morning, first few swings of the day. And like I said, if I could walk onto a first tee and get these kind of yardages straight out the club out the bag, then I'd be more than happy. Once again, slight right to left shot. It's left of centre, but it's we'd get away with that. 255 yards, and yet again, this club goes on to prove what it did in the head-to-head, in that whilst the message from Callaway is about forgiveness, and in the driver it was all about forgiveness, and I felt it certainly let me down in terms of overall distance. It's a complete reverse in the 3-wood. I managed to get fantastic numbers in terms of distance, but it's also got that forgiveness and assistance that that you'd hope for. It's just one after the other. It's incredibly easy to hit. It's probably a bit too high, that one. The hang time is forever. Getting them balls, pretty much a lot of them out the middle. It wasn't as good, that one, 2-4-1, and that was noticeable. It wasn't the purest of strikes. Launch angle remains consistent at 18 degrees, and I think one of perhaps the things that I would look to change is the shaft option for me personally. Maybe change some of those numbers. But in terms of performance, I'll hit one more for the record. Let's see if we can make this a good one to finish. We'll put a bit more effort into this one. And we all know how that normally turns out. But no, it's still gone good. I've literally, like I said, 5 balls, 5 out the club face. That one's down the middle. Again, it won't be as good in terms of distance. Felt it came out the bottom a little bit. 227, disappointing finish. And as I said, what normally happens with these things is that when you go for that last one, put a bit more in, it tends to go pear-shaped. So what we're going to do is we're going to have another go, because I'm not finishing on that one. Refuse to. We're going to finish on a big number. Or maybe not. But what's interesting, again, I am going to finish there because it could be going on forever, and that was, again, a bit of mat first, bit of well, it's incredible, 250 yards with a ball that, like I said, I don't know if you can hear in terms of the sound that you picked up there on camera, but certainly quite a lot of the rubber tee that we're mounted on here at Clark's Golf Centre, and a bit of mat as well, and you still get 226 carry and 250 overall. I mean, it's a very, very impressive golf club for me. If you watch any of my videos, I pay less interest or focus on the technology. If you are particularly interested in the science behind it all, I advise you go to the Callaway website and find out exactly how they've managed to do this. But for me personally, I'm a bit more of a case of get it in the hands, let's start hitting it and see if all those claims, because they tend to be the same, easier to hit, more forgiving, longer, all those things they say every time. The proof is in the pudding, as they say, so I just like to give it a bit of a whack. And in this instance, whatever they've done, whatever the technology is in this Big Bertha Fusion, it certainly works for me. So it definitely gets a thumbs up. For yourself, don't forget, give it a go. Get out there, get into driving range, get up to Clark's Golf Centre in St Helens and test these things out. And again, comments down below. Love to hear from you. Love the feedback. Follow us on Twitter and get over to tuplo.co.uk and leave some golf course reviews as well. Just join in wherever you can. Right, hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon on Tuplo TV.